Hello, my name's Andy and I work for the Cumbria Community Foundation. I'm going to share with you today what I think community means and how community organisations in our towns and villages help strengthen communities and help people live happy and healthy lives. Before I talk about community, I'd like to tell you a bit about myself and the Community Foundation. I've worked for the Foundation for the last 15 years and Cumbria has been my home for the last 25 years. The Community Foundation makes life-changing, inspirational grants, and in the last 16 years we've given out nearly £30 million to people and community projects across Cumbria. Most recently we've been running the Cumbria Flood Recovery Fund appeal, which has so far given out £3.5 million to help over 2,200 flood-affected families. And Westlands played a big part in that. Between the business and your customers, you've donated over £33,000, which is quite remarkable. But we also have a relationship with you where we manage a grant-making fund on your behalf, which involves staff members. And if you want to know more, you should speak to Claire. I'm going to share with you what I think community means and how the community organisations in our towns and villages help strengthen communities and help people live happy and healthy lives. So I'm speaking as someone who works for the Community Foundation, but also as someone who's lived for 15 years near one of T-Bay's closest villages, and that's Shap. Now, I believe community is where you feel you belong. It's where you have friends and you can identify with the people around you and where you share things in common. For many people, the word community creates images of things like Coronation Street or Postman Pat type villages. It's where people know each other and where you bump into each other in the pub. And I think in Cumbria we still have traditional communities like that, but it shouldn't be taken for granted, and it's changing all the time. People move away for work, people move in for work. Families no longer stay in one place, and we have people who choose to retire here. So wherever you are in Cumbria, you might hear a Polish accent, a Slovakian accent, South African accent. We are changing all the time. Now I'm going to tell you something that's really important and which you probably don't know. It's about community and how long we live and how healthy we are. Latest research tells us that we live longer and happier if we have people who we know we can depend on, reach out to, and really good genuine friends and have connections in the communities we live in. We know that loneliness is as big a cause of ill health and people dying early as obesity and smoking. So what does this have to do with community and community organisations? Well, at a time when communities are changing and perhaps the village shop has gone and there isn't a pub in which to meet people, the role that community organisations play in connecting people is absolutely vital. Now, I said I'd lived in one of T-Bay's nearby villages, which is Shap, and I just want to run through with you. I went on the Shap Village website just to list the activities that you can do today in that village. So they have a village hall, they have a bowling green, there's a swimming pool run by the community, an Age UK charity shop. There's a heritage centre and a heritage group, multi-use games area, Mothers Union, a gardening club, bell ringing, evergreen club, playgroup Beavers, Cubs and Scouts, a Ramblers group, a school of yoga, Pilates, karate, short mat balls, rural touring theatre comes to the village hall, a school of yoga, I may have said that again, line dancing, and finally Step in Time dance school. I'm sure I've missed things, but equally, what a remarkable range of activities for a village which has just 2,000 people. Now, Shap may be exceptional, but I'm not sure. It's a large village by Cumbrian standards, but I think wherever you live, if you reach out and look, community organisations will be providing those sorts of activities. So going back to what I said about loneliness and a sense of belonging and friendship, just consider that long list of activities in Shap and think of how many times there are for people to meet, to make friends, to keep busy and be entertained. So I hope I've shared some useful thoughts with you, things that you might not have considered before, and understand now the link between loneliness and health, and the contribution that our community organisations make to the well-being of you and everyone around you. So if you don't take part in local activities, don't be shy. I'm sure you'll have a warm welcome, and who knows, you might live a longer and happier life.